Welcome to Lifestyle Buzz Today with Orlando. Fresh, innovative, entertaining talk about topics we are all in one way or another involved with. And now here's your host, Orlando Burgos.
Well, hello there, my fellow citizens. Welcome to another edition of the Connection for Better Living, or the antidote for boring radio. This week was kind of funky for me. I was in so many different places at the same time and dealing with so many different things and business matters and all that type of stuff that for some reason I couldn't really get to what I usually do about preparing for the show. You know, I have guests that I needed to talk to. Anyway, my brain had a Teflon coating and all my ideas just slipped away. Anyway, so today we are going to do something a little bit different, which is we're going to be free-form radio today. What do you think?
That's my favorite kind of radio.
Yeah, you know, and you know what? I was thinking about it. There is really nothing more refreshing than being able to be in the moment and think about interesting things to share with the public. I mean, we are in the public here, I would say, and sometimes we script a little bit too much. Don't you think?
Oh my goodness! Don't even get me started, Orlando. When I work with a lot of different hosts and, you know, past and present, and I always tell them, you know, you can be over prepared.
Yeah.
For example, never write anything out. You know, if you have like an intro or a closer or something like that, or of course live reads for commercials or whatnot, you can write that out. But you know, I work with a woman, a lovely woman. And I'm not mentioning no names, but she will write everything out for her hour-long show. And so when she reads it, it sounds like she's reading. Yeah. And it's far easier to stumble when you're reading than when you're speaking extemporaneously.
Yeah. Yeah, no. You know what? I have to be very honest. I like to prepare even when it's just you and I. There's topics that I want to convey, you know, and I do write sometimes a little bit too much. At the end of the show, I crack up with myself because half of the stuff that I wrote never gets on the air. It's just, you know, I think by writing everything down, I build up an idea of what I want to say. But I think what I'm trying to do right now is trying to be fresh, innovative, and what people really enjoy. People tune into programming to hear something that is new, something that there's errors being made. I was cracking up because now the thing with Fox News is like, from many people, other stations and whatnot, talk about how Fox News is in trouble because they caught Sean Hannity vaping on air. He was coming from commercial. He didn't realize he was vaping. And so now people, and I'm going like,
he's trying to quit smoking, folks. And Sean Hannity, if you don't know, he was a smoker for his I saw Sean Hannity on the street one time smoking a cigarette. So if he's trying to transition from smoking cigarettes to vaping, then more power to him because it's a dirty habit and he needs to, you know, hopefully end up quitting both of them.
Yeah. You know, the fact is that people just don't see the positive side of things anymore because everything is like so compact and scripted. So anyway, let's take a little break. When we come back, fun show.
No more mold, no more damage, no more outdated old bathroom, no more slipping and hurting, no more stress. Make your ordinary bathroom extraordinary for only $99 per month. New shower, new door, new tub, new wall, new anti-slip technology. Be stress-free. Call 800-973-5411. BCI Bath and Shower is made in America for the highest quality. Ask about our military and senior discounts. Your dream bathroom in as little as 1 day. First 50 callers save $1,500 on a never clear glass treated door. Call now for free premium color upgrades. 800-973-5411. Call BCI Bath and Shower, the leader in bathroom remodeling. Be smart, safe, and stay a step ahead of inflation with our interest-free financing options. Call 800-973-5411. Love your bathroom with free upgrades. Call 800-973-5411. 800-973-5411.
All right, we are back. Okay, so anyway, I think that there's things that come into my mind: cars, clothing, train travel. All right, so for you, gas or electric cars?
Right now, gas. Right now, gas.
Okay.
I don't know. I know friends that have electric cars, and that range anxiety is a real thing.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this with a friend of mine. It seems like there's two schools of thought with electric cars right now. You can have a large capacity battery, maybe 300, 400, even 500 miles with some of the different models, but your charge time, even, with 240, is still going to be measured in hours.
Yeah.
And then there's other electric cars. I'm thinking specifically of the Porsche one, which is quite nice. That range is about 250, 300, and the charge time is about an hour. So still, I mean, even if you're like, maybe you want to take a trip up the coast to San Francisco or even a cross-country trip, you really can't do it because that supercharger infrastructure is not there yet. And still, and the gasoline engine right now has never been more powerful, more efficient, and more reliable than it is right now.
They are super reliable. They're economical. I mean, you can get a lot of mileage even from an F-150 truck. They're the way they fine-tuned everything today, and you don't really need super gas anymore. It's all regular.
I get 38 miles combined in my Passat, highway and city, on 87. So there you go. 700 miles a tank, I guess.
Now the other thing with electric cars is that if you have a Porsche that is electric, and you take it out on the road and you go like, oh yeah, man, it's powerful. The more you push that sucker, the smaller the range, isn't it?
Oh yeah, if you're like driving, like really want to show it off, because electric cars, that's one thing that's kind of cool about them is they're very fast.
Yeah,
they accelerate extremely, extremely fast with how much torque those electric motors have. But if you do, have a heavy foot, that range goes from 300 miles down to 100 miles.
Yeah. So you're gonna be in Costa Rica. I just came back. The electric cars are beginning to take off, okay? So people, it's a fad, people, you have to be very rich over there to be able to own a electric car. And the people that are within that little world are already making noise of the fact that the electric bill, which is normally very nominal in Costa Rica, is like, you usually pay like the house that I have right now, I probably pay $100 a month in electricity. With an electric car, jumps to like $600 because of every night you have to load it up, So people are not ready to pay $600 worth of electricity down there. So unless they are very, very wealthy. So anyway.
Yeah, you have to have like the solar panels to go with it to really make it economical. You have to have the solar system and the battery pack at home that will, pull electricity at certain times where it's less expensive. And then, for you to really make it make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the ideal fuel is if a tiny little reactor could be made, that would be great.
I'm a huge proponent of nuclear power, and it's sad that, just a couple movies and just anecdotal stories in the media have made it seem like it's this crazy, dangerous thing. But like you said, I mean, years ago, I believe that the Air Force, they took one of their biggest bombers at the time, the B-36 Peacemaker, and they put a reactor in that bad boy, and it powered the propellers. Yeah. And so, I mean, it is possible. I mean, right now, we have aircraft carriers and submarines that are powered off nuclear power, and that we haven't heard any accidents going on with them.
I know. Well, it's really funny because many, many years ago, Chrysler built a turbine car, and I got to see it because it had a Garrett turbine, which is the same brand of turbine that used to power the Turbo Commanders. So they took it to our facility for our mechanics to work on it, you know. And it was the funniest thing. I mean, it was like a little compact little, and it would start just like a turbine plane.
Yeah, it's a turbine for folks that don't know. It's pretty much a jet engine.
Yeah.
It's a jet engine that turns the jet power into mechanical energy.
But I don't know. I guess it became way too expensive at the time.
20,000 RPM too. That those idle at the turbine cars. So that's not necessarily great.
Listen to all that whiny noise. Clothing. Have you ever owned a tuxedo?
I've never owned a tuxedo. No, I've rented a couple, but I've never owned one.
Have you? Is this something that you would ever think about maybe owning one?
I don't know. I have a black suit that in a pinch could maybe be made into a tuxedo, but I rarely, most of my friends who have gotten married at this point have gotten married. I'm not going to any proms anytime soon. And so, I don't really have the need for a tuxedo.
I own two of them in my life, and I'm a stickler for tradition. So for me, a tuxedo, I bought one that's supposed to be like modern with the white lapels and all of that, and I hated that thing because for me, a tuxedo has to be the after six with the nice round collar and the cummerbund and the whole.
So you're
thing.
a cummerbund guy more than a vest guy in your tuxedo?
Yeah.
I like when I would my prom tuxedos where I'd rent the James Bond style where it'd be like the black pants, the black cummerbund, the white shirt, and like the cream colored white dinner jacket. Mm-hmm. I like that look.
And did you order a martini shaken?
Yeah, of course, shaken, not stirred.
Yeah. That is funny. Do you feel that maybe the clothing style is like evaporating some? I mean, the elegance, the feeling elegant.
I think so. It's funny you mentioned that. Just the other day, Jennifer Horn and I, a friend of the show, a friend of the station, her and I were looking at some of the photos of, I think, the Golden Globes or maybe one of the recent award. And it seems like the majority, there was a couple outliers when it came to the guys, but with the women, it seems like the dresses were more like performance art than fashion. Yeah. I mean, there's these long trains and like weird studded, bedazzled jewelry on it. And like when you look at it, you're just like, that doesn't look like a dress. That looks like an art project.
The sense of elegance has actually kind of evaporated up to a point, It used to be that elegance was something that made you look good. It made you feel good. You appreciated the fabric, the linen jacket or leisure, that type of stuff,
Well, a big part of elegance was, simplicity.
Yeah.
There's elegance in simplicity. Mm-hmm. And it seems like there's a lot of stuff nowadays going on where it's not simple. It's ornate. Glitz. Yeah, it's more glitz.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I see some of these shows and the ladies' dresses are like something that they're trying to compete with each other to see who can be more, not elegant, but more visual, more pop in the eye type of thing, So anyway, what can I say? Break time? Oh, well, just perfect. Let's take a little bit of a break. When we come back, more show, more Lifestyle Buzz.
Experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. you. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
Now you can get generic Viagra shipped to your door for about $2 a pill. Get the same impact for less. Call Steelman Pills now and get the same blue pill for about $2 a pill. Call now for the 50-pill special and save even more. Plus, get a free bonus.
800-605-1683. 800-605-1683. 800-605-1683. That's 800-605-1683.
Hi, this is Fred Dwyer talking about my favorite Italian restaurant, Angelo's and Vinci's at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in downtown Fullerton. A fantastic place to eat. Come inside and dine in our Italian town square, complete with a 10-foot Christmas tree. That's right, 10 feet. Enjoy our food made from secret family recipes. Pasta, chicken, seafood, salads, and our delicious pizza. Incredible desserts, including my favorite, the tiramisu, flown directly in from Italy. Feel the spirit at Angelo and Vinci's, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022 or visit angelosandvincis.com. That's angelosandvincis.com.
Hi, everybody. Michael Horn, along with Fred Dwyer, here in the Sports Lounge. We look behind the scenes in the world of sports, do we not, Fred Dwyer?
We look behind and in front sometimes.
Really? You
Yes.
check them both out and you can see everything there. This isn't your show for sports scores. This is the show about the politics of sports.
We're not ripping and reading. We don't care about what the Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals did in the third inning on a rainy day. Who cares? We're here to give you insight into a certain part of the sports world you don't normally see.
Wednesdays at 4 on CRN.
Little change in the program here. I'm going to talk a little bit about travel. Have you ever taken a long train trip?
I have. I've taken the train to Seattle, which was about 3 days, which was lovely. But I've always wanted to take a cross-country train trip and, spend the extra money to have like the real nice cabin, the one with the bathroom, for yourself.
The private,
the whole thing.
little cubby holder.
One of my favorite things to do is to go online on YouTube or, just on the internet in general. And I like to look at old photographs of the old train travels. Just old train travel, ocean liner travel, even airplane travel. But to look at the way that people traveled back then compared to now.
Yeah. I get to do whenever I happen to be in Peru. Peru has one of the luxury trains from like the Orient Express line. They have one, and it is decked out in the old style, But one of the things that I've been wanting to do is do the Rocky Mountaineer from like Vancouver Creek all the way across to the East Coast, The scenery has to be something like really out of this world.
I took a train trip years ago, and it was fantastic. I recommend this to anybody. It was a train trip from the San Francisco area to Reno, Nevada. And so you're going across the Sierra Nevadas, and you're going through gold country. And it was a beautiful train trip. You're going through all this natural sequoia forest. Also, there's all this, kind of old and misused, out of date gold mining equipment, because all the gold and all the was taken out by train back all the way going back to the 1840s,
right.
And all the infrastructure around there. They have these great little wood aqueducts that bring water everywhere. And I guess you can take that train. That's the same line where you can take it from San Francisco to Chicago. And so if you take that train, so this is something I want to do later in life, is take that same trip, but instead of stopping in Reno, going all the way to Chicago, because you actually get to go through the Rockies as well.
But one other thing that I'm working on right now is actually I want to go do the Napa train, the wine train, which is, you know, it's a short trip, but I think it's very exciting too. You know, I'm also working with the people from the Rocky Mountaineer, which I'm going to be bringing that up once it's like settled, to present it to the people here. I think it's going to be nice. I'm like you. I have wanted to go across the country, all the way to the East Coast, and it's a long trip though. It's what, like 7 days?
Yeah, it's about a week.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? You're there. You're riding the rails. There has to be a clickety clack that kind of puts you in the rhythm, and then you have the food cars, the bar cars, the whole thing. So it's not like in an airplane where you have to sit and hope that there's no bumps and, you know, kind of jostle you around. I think in a train, barring a derailment, it has to be like a very smooth, very scenic type of trip.
Yeah, I'm sure you meet interesting people who are taking the train for, you know, reasons, because they want to take the train. You know, it's not about like I have to get here at this, you know, in the fastest amount of time possible. They want to enjoy their trip. And so also they have the smoker's car at the very end, and that's like the party car.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of wild stuff goes down. But yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to you know, a cross-country train trip.
I have a cute little story. One time when I was in the car business, I had a manager that traveled only by train, never would go anywhere, you know. And he was from back east somewhere. He used to go visit his family back east. Anyway, one time we were going to Europe. The family was going to Europe, and we took him out to dinner. So, you know, to kind of like, if they had any questions, because he was going to run the shop for a while. I was going to be gone like over a month, you know. So anyway, he was going to run the business, and he came out and he goes, "I don't understand why you have to go all the way to Europe. You know, there's so many beautiful places here in America and this and that." And then the lady says, "Don hates to travel by air. He only, you know, goes to, and he doesn't like to go outside the country." Yeah. So anyway, so to make the long story short, before break time, the lady tells us that they went back east. And he was pissed off. He was angry because they went through Mexico to go back east. And I couldn't figure it out. Then she says, "Yeah, we went through Albuquerque." And I go like, okay, never mind that part. But anyway, it was a cute story. We got to do the train trip. We'll be right back.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
Think of the many sacrifices it took to establish and to preserve liberty in the United States. Think of the many generations that went before us, that spilled blood to preserve that liberty, our freedoms. And look at how long it took, not very long, for us to lose many of those liberties. One flu season, together with lockdowns galore, and so many of those liberties just slipping away. In the United States today, we see an American government that is weakening abroad, even as it oppresses its people at home. We discuss this and so much more on our program, The Trumpet Daily. We're live weekday mornings at 11 a.m. Central Time in the United States. You can listen at CRN Digital Radio, Channel 3, or watch the live video stream at our website, thetrumpet.com.
What are you so happy about?
I'm on the pill.
Aren't you two a bit old to worry about having more kids?
Not her, me.
You lost me there, buddy.
Steelman pills. Things weren't always looking up, if you catch my drift. So, my doctor prescribed me a little something.
Like Viagra?
Yeah, but that's expensive, and it wasn't covered by my insurance. Steelman pills cost me less than $3 a pill, and virtually the same effect. I just called and got over 40 pills for only $99.
I have this friend who might be looking and...
Well, if your friend wants some help, the consultation is free over the phone. No clinic. Steelman Pills sends it in the mail in a confidential package.
I'm on it. I mean, my friend will be on it.
Steelman Pills, going the extra mile to help men with erectile dysfunction.
800-605-1683. 800-605-1683. 800-605-1683. That's 800-605-1683.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644.
Welcome back to Lifestyle Buzz at CRN, the world's best radio station. Love it here. We are both foodies. We love to share stories. Would Mike ever be happy as a chef or as a line cook? Big difference.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a great question. Like, are we talking for myself or like actually as a career?
As a career. Let's say you got Spago needs Mike.
Yeah.
But IHOP needs desperately Mike.
Those line cooks, man, they work hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard job. That's, kind of the down and the dirty of the restaurant business is the chef, the executive chef or the chef itself, they kind of design the menu, work on the budget, the food costs. There's a lot of administrative stuff that goes on with being the actual chef.
And then they have a huge staff doing all the little things.
Yeah, and the chef makes all the money, and the rest of the guys, are usually making minimum wage. And so the line cook, if I could have what sort of skill set, like if I could have a chef skill set or a line cook skill set, to use in my own life, I'd want to be a line cook because those dudes can cook anything.
Yeah.
What's hilarious to me is people go to these, high, especially in like New York City and even Las Vegas as well. Not so much out here, but mostly in New York City and in Las Vegas. The chef is like, some French guy or an Italian guy that's got all these accolades and all that. But the actual person making your meal is usually some guy from like, Northern Mexico, so just some guy, some random guy, yeah. But he just has the skill and the experience to do it.
Yeah. I would say that for me, the idea of, let's say, a line cook, maybe not like the restaurant doesn't really matter. The fact is that I think that you have a little bit more options of preparing a wider variety of food, more entertaining in that regard.
Yeah, a line cook can make you an omelet. And he can also make you, like a souffle.
Yeah, make you a steak, make you whatever. I think a chef, though, is like you say, being a chef of name, okay. You, number one, you have to have your own restaurant because that's part of the deal. If you're going to be a great chef, you have to have your own establishment. And then you have to be so demanding of yourself because the clientele that's going to pay $100 some odd dollars for a tomahawk steak, it has to be just perfect. And there really is no such thing as perfect. I mean, this is going to be, I think you're putting yourself more into a stress situation than if you just enjoy the art of cooking, because you can cook whatever you want.
Yeah, especially in fine dining too. Like in fine dining, so much of it is about presentation, and also so much of it is about the budget, the food costs, the profit margins, and stuff like that. I mean, there's so much business and, like I said before, administrative stuff involved in being a chef, especially in fine dining.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a big mental situation going on because depending, like if they're doing seafood and meat of any kind, lamb, whatever, there has to be a big administrative situation as to how much in order to keep it all fresh, so I think, you probably close the restaurant at 1 o'clock in the morning after all the dishes are done, and you're probably up at 5 o'clock going to the markets to buy the perfect stuff to serve.
Yeah, we work with Ruth Chris. You can check out the What's Cooking on Wine on Monday nights. We broadcast live from Ruth Chris, 6 p.m. Pacific time on CRN1. And so I spent a lot of time there, setting up and staking down and working with the staff members there, all very nice people. And at Ruth Chris, the restaurant closes at 10, right?
Right.
But if someone comes in at 9:50 and wants a table, they'll sit them, and they'll actually stay open, until that last table leaves. Sometimes at midnight, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because fine dining's not so much of it's not only about the food, but it's also about the hospitality aspect of it too.
Right.
But funny you mentioned that. So I get there before the restaurant opens to set up all the equipment, and this is Ruth Chris. It's fine dining, but they have the staff meal. And every once in a while, if I'm lucky, they'll bring out some of the staff meal for me. And, Ruth Chris is known for their tomahawks, like you said. They're very high quality steaks, very fine dining quality food. But the staff meal is usually like chicken fingers or tacos or tater tots or something like that. And they'll be the best tacos or the best tater tots you've ever had.
Yeah.
Because they're made in a fine dining quality ingredients and fine dining quality kitchen. But yet sometimes I'm like, I'd much rather, like if they're like, hey, you want this free tomahawk steak? I'm like, no. You got any of those tater tots back there you're making for the staff meal? That's what I'll have.
Oh, that's a very, very great comment that you made, because you know what? People assume that if people work at Ruth Chris, before the service starts, everybody has a steak or something, and it's not that at all. It's like, but, the fact is that it's cooked by the same people that cook the fine meals. So they know. That's one thing that I would love to be able to master a little bit more, is knowing the spicing. Although I also have found out that sometimes the simpler the spicing, the better.
Also, sometimes it's better to not know than to know. Because hanging out back there in that kitchen, seeing the amount of salt and butter they put in everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, now that makes sense. Why these potatoes taste so good is because there's like
a pound of butter,
2 sticks of butter in there, and just not a pinch, a handful of salt in there. So sometimes it's better not to know and just go through the world with the eye shades on.
You know what? The only time that I actually now I increase the amount of salt is when I do pasta. Cooking, lots of salt. Then
in the pasta water?
In the pasta water,
yeah. Me too.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Today, it seems so hard to enjoy just a little bit of easy. So much of life seems to get in the way. But fear not, seekers of fabulous food and fun and thrill. Columbo's is Southern California's answer to Easy Street. Great grub with some of the finest steaks, the freshest fish awaiting for you to devour. Did I mention Columbo's family Italian recipes? Columbo's spaghetti bolognese, their chicken pesto ravioli, magnifico, and of course, the world's greatest meatballs. I can go on. But why go on when you can go on over to Columbo's and experience delicious and easy for yourself? Columbo's, of course, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia bene.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
All right, welcome back. I'm going to toss something at you that we both actually don't get too much involved in because this is not a political show, but it is something that is there, okay? Consideration for running for office. Is that something that you would ever think about?
No. Well, maybe if I lived in like a small town or something like that, maybe like on school board or city council, like a part-time kind of thing, but not as a career. No way.
Well, we're both in the same vein here because I was asked one time because I forget that we were talking about anyway. When I'm off air, I hate to admit it, but yeah, I am a little bit on the political side. And I'm very vocal. As a matter of fact, I've had to curve myself from Facebook because, you get into politics, religion, and no matter how you cut it, at one point you offend 50% of one side, Anyway, so I stopped doing it. But the fact is that I also come from a very political family, and I saw what it did to my people, my grandfather, and my uncles, and all of that. And I cannot ever imagine any particular reason why I would run for anything. I mean, seriously, I can support, I can do this. Like you say, maybe like a school board or something like that. But then even that I would pass on because I no longer have kids of school age. That date's already gone for me, But the idea of being in an office where I know for a fact that I can promise the moon, the stars, everything, and then circumstances change, and if you want to retain your political status, you have to forget all about that and then just kind of wing it,
Yeah, it's worse than being an actor or a celebrity or something like that in terms of the yes people around you, because your staff's never going to give you the true picture. You're never going to have any truth to power,
right?
Especially the bigger you get. I think that's why some of these politicians seem so out of touch, is because no one's telling them actually what's going on.
Yeah, no, nobody will say,
No one's going to say, like, what you just said is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to say that. They're going to be like, wow, that was a really interesting idea you had there.
Mm-hmm. You know, I would like spin it a little, the old famous spin. I think in politics, honesty goes out the window.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No matter.
Not only honesty, but shame is out the window now. Usually, there's a governing principle where you could be shamed into changing your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is completely out the window at this point.
You're so true about that. I was looking at the Chicago mayor that got defeated,
Lori Lightfoot.
In her concession speech, she goes, "People just didn't understand all that we did for Chicago," and I'm like, don't you read your own news? I mean, seriously, do they ever go out the door and actually talk to a citizen there? No, I don't. It's beyond them to kind of like listen to the people that they're supposed to be serving. So, yeah, no, I mean, I've seen people that are so desperate to get into the running and this and that and this. And I question, like you have a profession, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an architect, you're many things already you're successful at. Why give it all up to learn to lie? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think you're right, but I mean, there is honor in public service, and so I think a lot of people they think that I can change things, or I'll come in with a fresh perspective and really be able to make some sort of substantive change. But once they get there, they're like, well, they realize that they really can't change things that much just because of the way that government works. And B, they have to spend so much time getting themselves reelected.
Yeah. Well, the original premise of the founding fathers was citizens that serve, but they served voluntarily. Like in the old days, they all were farmers, they were all tobacco growers, they were all whatever. But when it came to running the Congress, it was a voluntary thing. There was no money. Now, the fact is that in many cases, let's say, I don't know how long ago it was that the federal government got unionized. It changed the perspective totally, because now people are part of the union, and if they want to vote, well, hey, it's a big block of votes and this and that. So they have changed it to the point where it's no longer a honest system.
Well, for years it was based on it was corrupt through the patronage system, where before federal employees pretty much can be hired and fired by the people in charge, and so they give out jobs in terms of compensation as favors. That's changed, but there's still a huge amount of political appointees that are reliant on the candidate that they're working for their salary and their livelihoods.
Yeah. We're actually seeing a lot of that, and it's a shame. It's a shame, but it's worldwide, though.
It's way worse abroad than it is here, folks. Just let me tell you.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, it is bad. All right, we'll be right back.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-846-2153. 800-846-2153. 800-846-2153. That's 800-846-2153.
Hi, this is Fred Dreyer talking about my favorite Italian restaurant, Angelo's and Vinci's at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in downtown Fullerton. A fantastic place to eat. Come inside and dine in our Italian town square, complete with a 10-foot Christmas tree. That's right, 10 feet. Enjoy our food made from secret family recipes. Pasta, chicken, seafood, salads, and our delicious pizza. Incredible desserts, including my favorite, the tiramisu, flown directly in from Italy. Feel the spirit at Angelo and Vinci's, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022 or visit angelosandvincis.com. That's angelosandvincis.com.
Do you remember Herbert W. Armstrong? Do you remember his magazine, The Plain Truth? His television program, The World Tomorrow? The one and only possible message of world peace?
Tomorrow. Now we're living in the most serious, the most momentous times of the history of this world.
Those who heard Herbert W. Armstrong speak remember the depth of thought, the clarity of expression, and the power of his message. He spoke for God. God warned this world through Herbert W. Armstrong, and he gave hope to this dying world through Herbert Armstrong. What happened to that ministry? What happened to that message? We discuss this and so much more on our program, The Trumpet Daily. We're live weekday mornings at 11 a.m. Central Time in the United States. You can listen at CRN Digital Radio, Channel 3, or watch the live video stream at our website, thetrumpet.com.
Right. Well, that was the show.
It went fast.
It went fast. It was entertaining. I think we had a good time. What do you think?
Absolutely.
You know, we got a lot of stuff out there. You know, it reminded me of, well, maybe not this time. Well, yeah, I'll say it. I was cracking up because I was looking at a while back. It reminded me of the Seinfeld show. I don't know if you've watched it. Ever watch it? And there was a thing when they were trying to sell the show to this network, and they said, "It's about nothing. It's about nothing." I'm going like, is this what it's going to be, like a show about nothing? But no, it actually had a lot of substance in it.
Well, it made Jerry Seinfeld $900 million, so something worked out.
So something was right about that. I love two characters. I love Seinfeld and I love Larry David. I mean, Larry David, in my opinion, is a genius. You know, so great guy. For more information about the show and everything else, now we're making it a lot easier. You can actually go to globalconnects.media. The website is fully up already, and there you can connect to both Lifestyle Buzz and Lux Travel from there. The only reason why I decided to combine it is because it makes it simpler, more easy to contact everything all in one page, and then you can still go to separate pages. To all the websites are there, and there's a lot of stuff coming. I'm going to be posting my new newsletter, which is going to be through Global Connects, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of activities coming your way, so you know, I encourage participation. We're going to be traveling. We're going to be doing things here. We're going to be visiting outside of local areas, so we're going to be having a lot of fun. I intend to be very interactive with you guys out there, with my audience. So let's just get involved. Michael, last words for you.
Yeah, just I want to circle back to something you talked about earlier in the show about how, you know, people, certain people don't like to fly. Yeah, and that's true. You see that a lot with type A personalities. People just don't want to fly. Here's a little tip. If you just like can't fly, you have really bad anxiety, the airlines will kind of accommodate you sometimes. And so you can actually, I know a celebrity that did this, is they just talk to the pilot. And as soon as they talk to the pilot, they're fine.
Yeah.
And it's just, the pilot will just be like, look, I've been doing this for a long time. I've over like 25,000 hours in this plane.
Yeah.
You're going to be all set. And so if any of our listeners out there, want to book a trip but are really afraid to fly, call the airline and tell them that. And they have protocols in place to kind of put you at ease.
Well, you know what? That's actually one of the reasons why when you're on the ground, the cockpit door is always open. So the crew is there. The flying crew is there. But usually one of the pilots comes up to greet the incoming passengers along with the cabin crew. So you can actually talk to them. I mean,
there's some weird psychological thing where once you actually talk to the pilot, a lot of that anxiety abates.
Yeah, there you go. So now you got another insight right there. Don't be afraid. Actually, the propeller is there just to keep the pilot cool. You know that, right? Once it stops, the pilot starts sweating. So okay, next week, Mr. Edward Ching. He's been a guest of mine here before. It's a lot of fun. So stay tuned for next week. God bless. Have a good time.